Right, so I'm gonna ask the questions, right, so I'm gonna ask the questions maybe not
In
very
the
formal.
order they read? Okay.
Not always in
In
a
the
formal
order they
way.
read? Okay.
Not always in a formal way.
Are you going to be speaking to him?
No, I'm talking to the camera. No, right?
Yeah,
I'm
because
talking
I
to
don't
the
mean that
camera.
needs up here.
Yeah,
because
they'll look up.
needs up here.
Okay, they'll look up. Okay,
Yeah,
camera.
the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that red spot right there.
Okay,
Look,
okay.
look at that red spot right there.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And
Rolling. For your name and your position. Rolling.
My name is LaShawn Allen Muhammad.
My name is
Deputy
LaShawn
Executive
Allen
Director
Muhammad,
of Central
Deputy
Brooklyn
Executive
Economic
Director of
Development
Central
Corp.
Brooklyn Economic
What do you
Development
do
Corp.
here? What do you do?
My role here at Central Brooklyn, Economic Development Corp is to assist our Executive Director, to further expand and develop new programs. We've been here 30 years, and so my role here is to help take it to the next level, so we can be here another 3
And
years.
your name, ma'am? And
My name
your
is Kenya
ma'am?
Chavis. My name is Kenya
And you're-
Chavis. I am the director of
and you're-
programs here. I am the director of programs here as well as office manager. And my role is basically securing the operation here in the office, as well as in the office, spearheading the different programs, consisting of children.
Sean, tell me a little bit about the program.
So right now, the programs, the current programs we're running, is an adult literacy program, is an adult literacy program, and a healthy families program. We're so proud. We're so proud. We serve almost 100 people per year in our adult literacy program, and that's at all levels. And that's at all levels. And we've almost 20 people had complete the program and obtain their GED, which is simply amazing. And so we're currently preparing to have a graduation ceremony for them. We also have a healthy families program. Where we provide social services for anyone to senior citizens. And so with that we provide referrals for whether it be housing assistance, health insurance, immigration, just anything, related to social service needs.
What type of do you plan for the future? Plan for the future. Do you have plan for the future? What type of program do you have plan for the future? What type of program?
So the next program that we actually adding to our Healthy Families program is a financial empowerment where we will be focusing on helping residents improve their credit, helping residents better understand their budget, and we also do provide referrals, and so with that, anyone going from one level to another, you have to understand your new income, and that's what we're here to do. Your new income. Another program we'll be adding is the brain training program, and brain training program, and veterans, veterans to children. That's a wonderful program. We're really excited about it. We're really excited about it. This community district does not service veterans at all. So this will service veterans at all. So this will sort of be the first community-based veterans program in Brownsville in a long time. So we're really excited about that.
Tell me a little bit about since you mentioned graphics of. Since you mentioned programs, tell me some demographics. Tell me some demographics.
So Brownsville. So I would say the demographic in Brownsville. We have a population of close to 90,000 people. I believe that there's a high level. I want to say probably over 50% of the community are unemployed. We have a high incarceration rate. We have a high incarceration rate. We have. I'm not sure what the you can edit this, right?
yeah,
You can edit this,
you
right?
have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just go back and pick back.
Okay, I can go back. Okay, I can go back.
Yeah.
We also have
Demographics.
we also have a relatively high infant mortality in the district, and speaking of infant mortality, one of the programs that will be adding is a community families servicing program where we'll be combining the brain training program and incorporating a reading and moms reading to their baby program, also a home visiting program as well. So we're really excited about that too.
Go back to the mom reading to
We're also we'll be incorporating moms reading to their babies. And what's really exciting about that is we also have population in Brownsville, and so population in Brownsville, and so all the moms will be reading in their native language, and that will expose, and that will expose other babies that are developing to other languages, that are developing to other languages. So we're so excited about that. It's going to be really necessary as we help to develop the next generation in Brownsville. In Brownsville, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it.
From an economic development perspective, what do you have planned for?
Our vision for economic development over the next 10 years, so we're looking over the next 10 years, so we're forecasting is to increase the number of resident business ownerships. Right now, we have less than 2% of our business owners that actually reside in the community. When you talk about economic development, when you talk about economic development and economic empowerment, the community should actually own part of their economy. So right now you have a primarily, 98%, and you can't. That doesn't make for an economically viable community. And so we'll be working really hard to help our community residents become business owners.
To the program director, I would like to know how did you get here? How did you get to this organization?
Excuse me. What led me to this organization was basically pretty much.
She's in frame, so get that in position.
I didn't want you to sit too long and I didn't want you to engage you, so
That's
not
okay.
engage you, so
Really? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Well, what led me to this organization first, I used to be employed with the Administration for Children's Services, so I had background working with children, women, and families. So what led me here is, first of all, I'm a Brooklyn native. And I know that there's a lot of work that needs to be done here in Brooklyn, and like Ms. Muhammad said, it starts with the children. So my role here is basically making sure that the programs for the children get off the ground, and that they're running securely and safely, actually, and that we're actually, yeah. Like I said, I was working. I don't know what to say. I lost my friend. Basically, well, I was very attracted to the organization because this is a Brooklyn-based organization, and it's nonprofit. And me, myself, I am a native New Yorker, born and raised in Brooklyn, Kings County Hospital to be exact. And my passion is children and young adults. I have 2 sons of my own, and I'm very interested in how they progress in this city. And it's very difficult sometimes when the children are not afforded the correct opportunities to move forward in life. And here at Brownsville, it really attracted me to come in and to work on that program with Ms. Muhammad. I've been working with her for 20-odd years, and she's a very close colleague of mine, and I've been following her success as her involvement in the community, and me as well. I always like to be involved as well. So,
what were you before you came here? What was
a little history on me?
Yeah.
Well, I worked in the city for 28 years. I started out in the New York City Housing Authority as a receptionist. I moved my way all the way up to office manager, and I took a leave and I did some private corporate area in Morgan Stanley and Dean Witter for a minute, and also a very prestigious law firm, and that's where I got a lot of legal backing. So after I had my second child, I decided to come back to work for the city, and that's when I took the opportunity to work for Administration for Children's Services. I've been there in a capacity as well, from administrative assistant on to, again, administrative manager. And my primary goal of that agency was, again, to better children, family services. So I have a lot of background working with families, and I also know and very aware of what families and children need to be equipped to move on to the next level.
What is your passion? What do you want to see for the children? What do you want to see for Brownsville's children?
Brownsville children in particular.
And what do Brownsville's children need in comparison to children in other communities?
Brownsville children, I believe, they need more than just hope and a dream. They need an organization like Central Brooklyn that's placed right here for the children to come to and get all the services they require. Some children are not economically safe in their environment, and some children are not aware that education is very necessary to move ahead in this country and as well as in New York. And that's why this community, that's why the Brooklyn development is here. And as Ms. Muhammad stated, you know, we're here to serve the children. That's all I know.
Let me ask a quick question.
Cut that part.
Okay. When, and I don't want to be configured, when Dinkins was in office, he created a lot of after-school programs. And when Giuliani came in, they started to dwindle away. Did you guys notice that? Or
How has it changed?
I definitely noticed that, and I also noticed that
let's
when
speak about like Dinkins and a different administration. If you don't want to mention Giuliani, just say after Dinkins, da 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 da.
yeah. When Dinkins was in office, something remarkably, incredibly, historically happened.
Start again and look at the camera.
Okay. When Dinkins, our Honorable Mayor Dinkins, was in office, the government placed a financial advisory board to oversee him. I feel that that was because to deter a little bit of the finances that were going towards certain needed areas and certain deprived minority groups. So when Dinkins was in office, he established a lot of community services, daycare, Head Start, after-school centers for the children. And this was really great as a start to help our community to come together, and the children will have a place to come, to learn, to have fun. You know, children have a lot of energy, so they need to run and play as well as be taught discipline. So Dinkins started a lot, even though the next mayor that came in kind of cut these programs, and it was to a great detriment to our community, Brownsville to name a few. And I believe that this organization, Central Brooklyn, we're here to reinitiate these programs.
And on that note, I want to add to that. One of the things, you know, one of our main goals is to help residents achieve self-sufficiency, right? And so when you think about self-sufficiency, that means you're not reliant upon outside.
Camera.
You're not reliant, to be self-sufficient means that you are not reliant upon outside entities or what have you to support you. You can support yourself. And one of the things that I have noticed, I was born and raised here in Brownsville, you know, went to the public school in this district, you know, born in Brookdale Hospital. So I've seen a lot, but the one thing that's really striking to me, there's a public school, 125, right there on Rockaway and Blake Avenue, that's been abandoned since I was about 6 years old. And although I will not reveal my current age, it's been abandoned for over 30 years. And I mean, I think that's criminal to have a large building connected to a park that's vacant with trees growing. And I mean, it's an absolute catastrophe. And I think that with only one recreational center in the entire district, with so many youth getting into trouble, being arrested, I mean, we need to develop more cultural institutions, after school programs. I mean, we really need it. And I think that if the community, and we'll help them do that, can band together and band their resources together so that we could be one united voice, one united force to demonstrate what our needs are, and then to put forth the plan to make it happen. And so that's a community vision. And so CBEDC's role to help the community will be for them to help develop that vision and then to make it a reality.
I believe I heard, I'm not sure, there was a principal that came in. There was a school that's doing bad in a particular neighborhood, and a principal came in and she turned the school around, and
Yes.
the school started to do very well and ended up shutting the school down after. Did you hear anything
No.
about that?
No, I
No?
thought you were going towards what happened with Mott Hall Bridges, who is actually becoming doing very well at this point. So I'm not
Okay.
aware of a principal who in this district.
Not you know, the city closed
Okay.
the school down. I forgot what reason I heard they said, but it's a parent that was telling me that.
Okay. Well, you know, a lot of times. So here's the funny thing, and that goes back to the point about being self-sufficient. Okay, sorry. Here's the funny thing about you know, when programs, schools, or any institutions in the community are shut down by external forces. Again, that's another reason why it's very important for the community to be educated, to understand what their rights are, so that they can avoid these things from happening. I mean, it's like, you know, what sort of really gets to me is when we talk about the they. we need to demystify who they are, and how powerful they are. I think that's something that we have as a community have become accustomed to, and we need to stop. We need to understand who we are, and make sure that we know what our power is.
I want to direct a question to you. Why do you think Brownsville is treated differently in other districts?
I believe Brownsville is treated differently in other districts because of the mass number of African American minorities that live here. And I believe that they would love to continue suppressing Brownsville community. And yes, we're being treated differently because there's a large amount of black people here.
What are the stigmas, though? Be more specific. What stigmas?
Okay, this.
What's one?
Oh, that's you.
That's me. I'm so sorry. I cut you off. Again.
So what stigmas are associated with Brownsville?
Wait. Okay.
Well, a lot of stigmas are associated with Brownsville. First and foremost, the crime rate here. HIV status is very high here. The literacy rate also is very high here, and the amount of men that are incarcerated is very high here. And I believe that we're being overlooked and put a stigma on, like, oh, Brownsville is up to nothing. We don't even invest in Brownsville. But things are changing here in Brownsville, and that's why Central Brooklyn is placed here. And we're here to take Brownsville to the next level and to relinquish all of those stigmas put against this district here.
That's great.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Bed-Stuy. I used to live in Bed-Stuy. I'm in Queens now, but occasionally I come through to shoot, and I would notice they're building things in Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, co-ops, this and that, like street lights. And then when they finished that, I started to notice the whites begin to trickle in.
Right.
So
Yes.
if they can do that for, Bed-Stuy, certainly why can't they do it here?
It's very
Okay, I'm
interesting.
so glad you said that,
Yes.
because that's a great segue to bring in our street.
Okay.
So, what's your question?
Oh, you want to bring our street too?
Yes,
Okay.
because that's the answer to what he's talking about.
Right.
Yeah, basically, why is it that they do not, I didn't really have a question with making
Okay,
a statement,
okay.
but the question will be, why is it that you don't see the government fixing the buildings, streets, for the community? Why is it everything is
But this particular
continuously run
community,
down?
right.
Yeah.
So, Brownsville and East New York are the
Camera.
next.
I know I'm handsome, but
No, that's
try and
okay.
focus.
Yeah, I know, I can't stop looking over here. Okay, so Brownsville and East New York are, okay, let me back up. Brooklyn has seen major housing and commercial development over the past 10 to 12 years, and Brownsville and East New York are literally on the block to be the next areas to be redeveloped. And unfortunately, what happens when communities are redeveloped, you slowly but surely see the complexion of the community change, and you slowly but surely see the small mom and pop businesses that have been in place for years disappear. And so what we are really focused on is to help with the redevelopment, because there's no secret that our neighborhoods need to be redeveloped. But again, just to go back to the self-sufficient statement that I made earlier, it's important for the community to be very involved with its own redevelopment. And so to answer that component, we have teamed up with a wonderful company called Our Street, and their goal is to be a large part of that community redevelopment, but have it be have the community invest in itself and also reap the profits. So we're extremely excited about this partnership.
Yes, we are. It's almost like ending a stereotype. Blacks are stereotypes, Latins are stereotypes, but whites are also stereotyped, whereas if they live in the community then becomes worth living. The community then becomes worth the government to pour more money into. So we would like to end those stereotypes and let it be known that Brownsville is a rising community filled with skilled trades and prominent people here.
All right. So they're up.
Yep, they're up. So we're moving. Actually.